Good morning, Cedar Lane. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I'm Rajendran. I'm the worship associate for today morning. Good morning to all of you. And my pronouns are he and him. And I'm a 50s Indian male wearing gray shirt and a beige trousers. Welcome to Cedar Lane for today morning. As we gather for worship, let's take a moment to turn and greet our neighbors, offering a warm welcome, especially to our newcomers and guests.
Thank you, Libby. It's a beautiful day at Cedar Lane. I'm Abhi Janamanchi. My pronouns are he and him. Proud to serve Cedar Lane as one of your ministers, along with my colleagues, Reverends Ali Casey Bell and Dana Edwards. I am a South Asian Indian male in my 50s with dark brown hair and a graying mustache. And today I'm wearing a purple shirt, a pinkish vest, and blue pants. As we gather today, we pause to acknowledge that we are on the ancestral lands of the Nacotchtank and Piscataway Conoy peoples, and where enslaved African people worked without choice or reward. We honor their enduring presence and stewardship of this land in the past, present, and future. Welcome to Cedar Lane Unitarian Universalist congregation. We gather together as a progressive religious community embracing a diversity of ages, beliefs, cultures, sexual orientation, gender identities, abilities, life circumstance, nationality, and documentation status. We welcome everyone in the fullness of who you are, and we are so glad you are here. A special welcome to our newcomers and guests, whether you're joining us here in person or online. If you're new or still feeling new, please raise your hand if you feel comfortable doing so, or introduce yourself in the chat so we can greet you with a small gift of appreciation. Let us give our newcomers and guests a warm Cedar Lane welcome. I see that we have quite a few guests here this morning. We're so glad that you're here, and thank you for choosing to worship here. After our service, please join us for fellowship and coffee and conversation in our fellowship hall. If you're interested in learning more about Unitarian Universalism or getting involved in our congregation, please fill out the newcomer form that's linked in the chat or offered to you by one of our greeters. To stay updated on Cedar Lane events, please sign up on our website for our weekly e-newsletter at cedarlane.org. And if you're feeling called to deepen your involvement and contribute to our mission, consider taking the next step to join Cedar Lane by becoming a member. We will have a new member recognition ceremony later in the service. And if the Spirit moves you, we will welcome you into membership. Our caring ministry team serves as an extension of our ministry here at Cedar Lane. Kathleen Holmay, a dedicated member of our team, is available to support you in person. Thank you, Kathleen. And now let us center ourselves, inviting our mind, body, and spirit into this space made sacred by our presence and the presence of the holy, with these words from the poet Wendell Berry. When despair for the world grows in me, and I wake in the night at the least sound, in fear of what my life and my children's lives may be, I go and lie down where the wood drake rests in his beauty on the water and the great heron feeds. I come into the peace of wild things who do not tax their lives with forethoughts of grief. I come into the presence of still water, and I feel above me the day-bind stars waiting with their light. For a time, I rest in the grace of the world, and am free. In this spirit, we begin.
Good morning. I'm Rajendran, the worship associate for today. In our Unitarian Universalist tradition, we illuminate the chalice as a beacon of our faith and community whenever we gather. I now invite newcomers Lois Santu, Rebecca Fanning, and Clark Liz to please come on stage and light the chalice. Please rise in body and or spirit and join me in saying the words on screen. We light this chalice to remember that it is good to make space for breath, that work is not the measure of worthiness, that filling one's life to the brim leaves no room for grace and surprise to slip in. As we gather, let us also renew our faith, finding strength and inspiration in our shared journey. Let us make space and be renewed. Thank you.
Becoming a member of a Unitarian Universalist congregation is a significant commitment. And in case you're wondering what one gets out of becoming a member, I want to paraphrase my colleague Fred Small, who said, "You get a free wedding most of us don't need. A free memorial service most of us don't want anytime soon. You get the use of this beautiful church building for your events for a modest fee. And if you have made a financial contribution of record since the start of the previous fiscal year, you get the right to vote on congregational business at our annual meeting and even serve as a church officer. Yay!" So, all right, Rebecca, that's the spirit. So why do we then encourage membership? Because a Unitarian Universalist congregation represents a tradition and a liberal religious heritage bequeathed to us by our ancestors. It provides a regular connection with the intimate and ultimate in life. It supports us in our spiritual and intellectual growth, is there for us in times of need. It invites us to develop intimate and meaningful relationships with others in our community, and it impels us, sometimes compels us, to live out our spiritual and ethical values through service. So membership calls us to celebrate the choice that has brought us together and to regard each other as spiritual friends and companions on life's journey. And the relationships we form here are based on the needs of the soul, needs that make us vulnerable and reliant on each other's grace, goodness, and generosity of spirit. It also means shouldering a fair share of responsibility for this shared enterprise, our spiritual home, which involves both the promise of spiritual growth and fulfillment and the obligation to support the congregation in all areas, from shared ministry to financial stewardship. No one is asked to assume a burden beyond their capacity, but we do ask you to believe in the promise and to accept the obligation. So today, we are grateful and delighted to welcome new members who have found their way here and have decided to commit to this faith community, celebrating that commitment in worship. I'd like to welcome Nicole Singer to share more about our new members.
Hi, I'm Nicole Singer, Membership and Faith Formation Coordinator. My pronouns are she, her. Today, we're delighted to recognize a group of new members who've recently signed our book. Joining Cedar Lane means being part of this gathered community, engaging with our mission and ministry, offering and receiving the gifts of the Spirit, supporting others, and being supported in return. Please come forward as your name is called. Rebecca Fanning. Yay. Lovey Sandhu. and Clark Gritz. And names of those who have joined since the last new member recognition ceremony who are not present are Manaka Padakandla and Linda Cabral. And at this time, I invite all of those wishing to become members of this community to come forward and sign the membership book. Yeah. Okay. And we have some gifts to hand out.
Hi, I'm Melissa Ferguson. I'm a member of the Cedar Lane membership team, and my pronouns are she, her. What our new members believe. Some of our new members find resonance in both UU and in their personal principles, including loving kindness, religious naturalism, and earth-based religions. Some engage with spirituality through a humanist lens, naming compassion to themselves and others, as well as being thoughtful and aware of others' feelings to be important in their search for truth and meaning. Where they find the holy. Our new members find the holy in many places, through love and friendship with family and friends, through connections made in intentional communities, in the work they do to make the world a better place, caring for others, acting for justice, nature, art, music, in their heart, in breathing, and in prayer. And what they are excited about. Our new members are excited about working with our youth, accompanying people on their spiritual journey and being companioned, joining in our social justice programs, connecting with like-minded people through groups like our soul circles, and making deep and substantive friendships.
Clark, Lovey, and Rebecca, would you share the new member affirmation that is?
We join this religious community with joy and hope in our hearts, pledging to support and participate in the mission and ministries of this congregation. We covenant to join you in a common quest for religious and spiritual understanding and for the common purpose of co-creating the beloved community. We seek your welcome as we join you on this journey.
On behalf of all of Cedar Lane, I welcome you into membership. We rejoice that you are moving into the deeper life of our congregation and as partners on our journey together. Ours is a free faith. We have no creeds, and you're free to bring your ideas and beliefs to this congregation to share with others. I invite you to join us in the religious search for meaning and purpose in life, informed by our individual beliefs and the traditions of Unitarian Universalism. Will the gathered community please rise and respond with the words printed in your order of celebration?
We welcome you as you come with anticipation and joy, as we
were once welcomed. We hope that you will find here room to grow and flourish in mind, body, and spirit. We accept you into our community as companions in our spiritual journey. We covenant to rejoice with you in times of happiness, to grieve with you in times of sorrow, and when we fall short short of our covenant, to work together to restore it. We share with you all the blessings of our free faith as we co-create the beloved community.
Welcome. Welcome. Thank you, and please remain as you are to sing our hymn, Forward Through the Ages. Announcements are more than updates. We say they are invitations to engage, celebrate, and support each other's journeys, embodying our commitment to nurturing community and building a more just world. But have you wondered what do some of the world's religions have to say about announcements? Well, here you go. Buddhism. All announcements are suffering. Hinduism. We are karmically bound to hear announcements again and again and again. In Islam, you must submit to the will of all announcements. In Christianity, in heaven, there are no announcements. In Judaism, only your mother gets to make announcements. This morning, we have a few announcements we'd like to draw special attention to.
A celebration of life service for member Kathy Simpson will be held today at 2 p.m. in the sanctuary.
We're delighted to announce that the Board of Trustees unanimously approved Michael Holmes as the new Director of Music and Arts. Yeah! Michael has served the UU Church of Silver Spring for 20 years and is eagerly looking forward to starting at Cedar Lane in early August. A huge thank you to the music search team, Lori Flaherty, Liz Peters, Jenny Lynn Moyer, Joe Del Sol, Yashasvi Janamanchi, and Heidi Hill for all your hard work. And for this successful outcome. Thank you. Thank you.
Are you interested in learning more about the Strategic Initiatives Fund but unsure where to start? Join the Strategic Initiatives Fund Committee for one of their information sessions tomorrow, July 1st from 7 to 8 p.m. on Monday, or on Monday, July 8th from 7 to 8 p.m. They will answer all your questions and help you get started. Check the e-news for the Zoom info.
And thank you to all the Cedar Lane delegates and staff for their dedication during this General Assembly, our annual gathering that just happened last week. Here are some key results from the 2024 UUA General Assembly.
The delegates decisively adopted changes to Article 2, placing love at the center with values of equity, generosity, interdependence, justice, pluralism, and transformation.
The business resolution embracing transgender, non-binary, intersex, and gender diverse people passed overwhelmingly with over 91% in favor. The delegates also affirmed 3 actions of immediate witness: solidarity with Palestinians, World on Fire, humanitarian work and climate change, centering love amidst the ongoing impact of COVID-19. So AIWs are statements about significant actions, events, or developments in the world that necessitate immediate engagement and action among UU congregations and affiliated groups. Additionally, a responsive resolution, UUA General Assembly's support for October 7 hostages, was also passed. And last but not least, we are eagerly looking forward to participating in Pride in the Plaza celebration that is happening in Silver Spring today. Cedar Lane is hosting a table there, and we have some of our members who are volunteering their time. We hope you'll check it out. It's from noon till 8 p.m. No, noon till 5? 5. Noon till 5. I guess you can hang out till 8 p.m. if you'd like. And also, in celebration of Pride Month, we are so proud that our Reverend Ali Casey Bell was chosen and interviewed by Representative Jamie Raskin as one of our local heroes in Montgomery County for his leadership work in our county on LGBTQIA+ issues. It's a powerful conversation that he and Jamie Raskin had, and it's available on YouTube and also on Representative Raskin's website. Please check it out. Let us now move into the space for naming and sharing the joys and sorrows of our community and beyond.
Let us center ourselves in this moment, invoking the sources of love within, among, and around us. In this beloved community where we find connection, meaning, and solace, let us hold sacred space for one another, share in each other's joys and sorrows, embracing those present and holding in our hearts those absent today. Within the Cedar Lane community, we hold in our hearts Sharmi Mehta, who's being cared for by our caregivers, friends, and especially our husband Raj. Our caring extends beyond Cedar Lane to others whose lives are lost and whose lives are impacted by war, violence, calamities in our nation and in our world. We continue to hold in our hearts all those who have perished in the unprecedented violence across Gaza, Israel, Ukraine, Haiti, Sudan, and the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Let us hold these joys and sorrows with tenderness and care, drawing strength from our connections and our shared commitment. As we enter the silence together, those mourning our loss are invited to rise in body and or in spirit and speak their names into the silence. May we hold the silence as the silence holds us.
You may be seated. Would you join me in the spirit of prayer, reflection, or meditation? Nameless one of many names, source of our lives and all life, we live day by day with our limitations, those frustrations we bump into perhaps more often than we would like. We live day by day with our memories of when we fell short of our ideals and seemed unable to redeem our faults. We live day by day with the injustices of our fellow human beings on this earth. Teach our hearts, O Spirit, the strength to live with our partialness, with our frustrations, our faults, even with our indignation over injustice. Teach us to act humbly and with compassion even in their midst. Teach our hearts and our minds humility and love, so that when we act and speak as we must, we do so in that spirit. May all that is creative and life-giving find us eager to receive it, that our lives may be more grace-filled, our thoughts more kind, our actions more loving as we struggle alone and together in our common humanity. O Holy One, may all beings be happy. May all be free from disease. May all experience goodness, and may none suffer in any way. Peace, peace, peace. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah. Sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May it be so. Blessed be. Every week in worship, we give and receive an offering to support an organization that is in alignment with our mission. This act is both symbolic and practical. While our pledges of financial support help us build our budget and fund our yearly programs, our ministries, support our staff, and also the beautiful buildings and campus, passing the plate during worship is a community expression of gratitude for the blessing of abundance. It is a visible act of bringing in the harvest at this cherished hour. It signifies that the act of giving is as essential to our spiritual well-being as anything else we do here on Sunday mornings. Today we are honored to share the plate with Hope in a Box. This program provides K-12 educators with LGBTQ inclusive curricula, training, and mentorship. Using literature to cultivate empathy, they ensure every LGBTQ student feels safe, welcome, and included at school. This initiative is part of Advocates for Youth, a DC-based nonprofit that works with youth to fight for sexual health, rights, and justice. So on this day, the last day of Pride Month, we invite you to give generously to support this important organization. You can give online, by text, by mailing a check, or placing multiple $20 bills or your checks in the offering plate. However you choose to give and whatever you give, we're grateful for your generosity. The offering will now be gratefully received and given. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, members of the summer choir, for choosing and sharing that beautiful piece, and Jasmine and Libby. And thank you, Libby. Thank you. For your ministry of love this whole year in your role as our acting director of music, for guiding and supporting our music ministry and sharing these wonderful blessings. We're so grateful. Thank you. Well, Libby is not leaving yet, so hold some of your applause for a little later in August, when we will have a chance to celebrate Libby's work with us. So, sorting our religious bags. I knew that would get some of you out and curious about what was going to happen. Let's try saying it another way. Come on in, unpack your religious bags and stay a while with us. Rest from your labors and make yourself at home here. What is it in those bags that you're carrying around? They seem quite heavy. Why don't you unpack those bags, cull, sort, and toss, and try to lighten your load? Or, what interesting baggage you got. Can I see? Ooh, I've got one of those too. Unpacking our bags. Here in this place, it's not just you who come with religious baggage. I come with baggage too. See, these are all not my bags. Some I acquired and others I inherited, but they all contain things that I carry around diligently. Some bags I carry. Some of what is in these bags carries me at times. Now, I don't check them at the door because my faith doesn't require me to. But what it does call on me is to pay attention to them, to sort through them. And I guess it's the same for all of you. You have religious bags too. There is some old stuff in them that you keep meaning to throw out, or you thought you had thrown out everything when you came through these doors, only to find out that there was still something in those bags that wouldn't let go of you. You probably are holding on to some items because of what they mean to you. Heirlooms, maybe. And then there may be some things in there that you don't have a clue how they got there. And yet you hold on to them, hoping to figure out what they're for and why you keep them. See, often in Unitarian Universalist groups, we engage in conversations about our religious backgrounds. We share stories of growing up in traditional religious families, feeling sometimes like odd ducks, always asking questions, probing conventional answers, and being generally skeptical about the status quo. Many of us recall moments when we realized that we were hearing at a church or synagogue or temple no longer made sense, prompting us to leave because something within us switched off and stayed so for a long time. How many of you have gone through that journey and found yourself here? Wow, look at that. And then we recount decisions or actions, or rituals, or practices, or dogmas that ran contrary to what these religious institutions said, or experiences of religious practices that conflicted with their stated beliefs or were harmful in ways that affected our soul work. And through sharing these stories, we discover common threads here and find a place to belong, to worship, to be, and to serve. Now, I initially ran as hard and fast as I could from the religion of my youngest years. And where are those things I tried to escape from when I took a plane from Hyderabad to avoid and leaped into seminary to distance myself from? Well, right here in these bags. The towns in southern India where my parents and grandparents hailed from, my grandfather's battles with established religion and the caste system, my mother's struggle to gain recognition as a Hindu married to a Muslim, raising me as a single parent, my struggle to come to terms with my father and his faith, my struggle to belong in this faith as an immigrant, person of color, in this predominantly native Euro-American faith. All these and more I continue to carry and hold in these bags. So here's the message, and I'll say it again. I'll say this later because none of us really believes it, not even I. The past is with us, late and soon. It does not go away. We cannot do therapy to get rid of it. We may be able to figure out a way to deal with it, but our past never goes away. We cannot diet our past away. We'll just put it on again. We cannot mail it to Timbuktu. It comes back marked, receiver unknown, return to sender. We cannot bury it or cremate it, for we don't do our history the honor of remembering. Remembering our buried life remembers itself in our muscles and our bones, the twists and knots. You know, it is some of our past that creeps up on us and hurts when we work too hard, forms a hard knot beneath our shoulder blades when we don't create an outlet for our little griefs, and comes upon us sometimes for no reason at all, in the morning when we rise with some sense of foreboding, or in the evening when we lay down with sorrow. Now, you may all be wondering, Abhi, why on earth are you dwelling on pain and sorrow and suffering, especially on this beautiful summer day? Well, that's partly my personality. You may ask, why not talk about light and love, about peace and happiness, about Unitarian Universalism being a source of inspiration and exaltation? Well, I could, and I will. But this is important, because it is the pain and the sorrow that we sometimes tend to avoid, sometimes soothe with cheap grace, or cover over before the wound is fully healed so we don't have to feel our way through it. If you look at the history of religions, you will find that almost all religions arose out of crisis, pain, suffering, guilt, and hardship. In those crises or hardships, each member of the community found lessons for their life. So religion is not about happiness, though a religious life well lived could bring about happiness. Religion is about wholeness. As the French philosopher Albert Camus said, what counts is to be human and simple. No, what counts is to be true, and then everything fits in. Humanity and simplicity. What I wish for now is no longer happiness, but simply awareness. I do not want to choose between the right and wrong sides of the world, and I do not like a choice. The great courage is still to gaze as squarely at the light as at death. The great courage is still to gaze as squarely at the light as at death. This profound truth reminds us that in seeking wholeness, we must embrace both our joy and our despair, for there is no love of life without despair of life. So it is about acknowledging our brokenness, yet finding ways to heal and capture wholeness. So friends, don't be surprised when you discover that the baggage you are carrying around is indeed religious baggage. You see, the word religion itself comes from the Latin root religare, meaning to bind back to the source. To bind back to the source means, in part, to acknowledge the truths of our lives, to claim them, to lift them up for what they are, and to allow those truths to lead us to deeper truths toward wholeness. It means recognizing how our story is part of a larger unfolding story that is constantly unfolding, so that we may more fully open our minds to truth, our conscience to justice, and our hearts to love. So sorting our religious bags means there is no way around our baggage, but only through it. I'm reminded of that beautiful story from Quaker educator Parker Palmer. He took an outward-bound course in his early 40s, where he faced the daunting task of walking down the face of a 110-foot cliff. Initially terrified, Palmer kept falling because he was leaning too close to the rock face. So his instructor advised him to lean much farther back, which is kind of counterintuitive, so that his feet could grip the wall. Now, despite the fear, Parker Palmer tried again and began moving slowly down the rock wall. But halfway down, he froze upon seeing a large hole in the rock and no way to navigate it. Now, the instructor, sensing his hesitation, reminded him of the outward bound motto: if you can't get out of it, get into it. And Palmer thought, great, I'm stuck here and she's feeding me bromides. But then the advice became a profound spiritual lesson for Palmer that he eventually was able to navigate the cliff. Sometimes we must ride the monsters all the way down because they're just too big to avoid. And the only way to deal with them is to move toward them, with them, into them, through them, befriend them. Sorting our religious bags might mean leaning and learning to be present to our fears and our insecurities, looking at all the ways we evade the promptings of our soul, shunning our shadows and eluding the murmurings of that still small voice within. Our religion is woven into the way we go about our lives and with what we carry around in our bags. That's what you committed to when you joined. Sorting our bags might mean looking one more time at all the things we either keep unwittingly or throw out intentionally, things that keep popping up, begging to be reconsidered. And in those things, if we look closely, we may find something of great worth: a memory, a poem, a person, a longing, a gift, something we have needed all our lives. Or we may find something that's been dragging us down: an angry memory, a hurt, a slight, a painful experience, something we need to deal with, to heal and let go. Part of my religious baggage is all the avoidance, procrastination, denial, obfuscation, and evasions of my life. Part of my religious baggage is all I carry of what I have done to feed the loneliness of life. The hunger for life, not realizing it was the hunger for truth, for God, for being reunited with the source. Hunger to let myself know how close I really am to that divine mystery. So these are my religious bags. I have filled them with things from my house and study, and as I gathered them, I saw them as symbols of a spiritual truth I carry within me. I might have gathered a different assembly of artifacts on another day, or there may have been fewer on another day. I am, after all, a true INFP. And if you don't know what INFP is, and you may want to take your Myers-Briggs and figure out what you are. And those of you who are INFPs, you know what I'm saying. So I invite you to project upon the items in my religious bags. And let's unpack and sort through our religious bags and stay a while. Because there are things in there, like Pandora's box, that will not be managed or controlled by our meager maneuvering. Praise God. We are in charge of too much as it is, and we try to control things too much as it is. I appreciate what Brother Thomas Merton, when he said, there is always a great temptation in the contemplative life to diddle around, making itsy-bitsy statues. I love that. And Annie Dillard, having quoted him, goes on to say that there is always an enormous temptation in all of life to diddle around, making itsy-bitsy friends and meals and journey of itsy-bitsy years on end. It is so self-conscious, so apparently moral, simply to step aside from the gaps where the creeks and winds pour down, saying, I never melted this grace, never merited this grace quite rightly, and then to sulk along the rest of your days on the edge of rage. I won't have it, she says. The world is wilder than that in all directions, more dangerous and bitter, more extravagant and bright. We are making hay when we should be making whoopee. We are raising tomatoes when we should be raising Cain or Lazarus. Wow. There is more here than we can manage or contain. Because this is not a dress rehearsal. This is it. We are quetching when we should be rending our garments. We are giggling at little jokes when we should be laughing into the abyss. We are raising little questions of procedure and policy when we should be outraged. We are raising objections about vocabulary, trying to wordsmith our way into faith when we should be raising Cain and Lazarus. We are diddling around, making itsy-bitsy pretenses when by God we are capable of loving more boldly. We are deeply gifted with compassion. We are widely talented to reason and to speak out. And we are in a time that needs all our reason, all our compassion, all our passion, and all our love. A. Powell Davies wrote, belief is many things, and so is disbelief. But religion is something that happens to you when you open your mind to truth, your conscience to justice, and your heart to love. So, let us unpack and sort through our religious bags. And let us look again at what we have brought with us all this way. There must be reasons we have brought these things so far. But as we look at these that we have brought with us all these miles, all these years, let us give the people something of our vision. As John Murray, our Universalist forebear, is supposed to have said to those he sent out to preach universalism in the 19th century. Now, while I am always sending you out from here, and you are always sending each other forth from here, our beliefs passively held will wither and die. It is in these bags we will find the sturdy root that has wintered well. It is in these bags we will find the things that we are passionate about, and it is that which gives us courage and joy to live our religion. So I say again, in supposedly John Murray's words, you may possess only a small light, but uncover it. Let it shine. Use it to bring more light and understanding to the minds and hearts of people. Give them not hell, but hope and courage. Because this is our calling, yours and mine, to tend and serve the fragile flame in all our souls until they burn steady and bright. So let us be the bearers of light in a world that so desperately needs it. Let us strive to bring more hope, more courage, and understanding to all that we encounter, knowing that our collective efforts can indeed create a more just world. May it be so. Amen. People say, Amen. All right. Let's rise in body and or in spirit to sing When Our Heart is in a Holy Place. When our heart is embracing the beauty of our faith and the strength of our community. May we find the courage to confront our past, to sort through our religious bags, discerning what to carry forward and what to let go and what to keep. With love at the center, let us go forth with hearts open to the holy in ourselves and others, committed to building a world filled with justice, equity, and peace. Go in peace, go making peace, living gently and loving mightily and bowing to the mystery. May it be so. Please be seated for the postlude.